A former version of me would have felt bad. I would have felt like it was my fault that I ruined our trip. Life goes not the way we thought it would, not the way maybe we hoped. How we handle ourselves in that situation and how we speak to ourselves in that situation sets the tone for everything. Hello, friend, and welcome to the Phoenix Perspective Podcast. I'm your host, Corey Ray Kovacs, and I am so happy you are here today. Today is a special episode that I actually recorded on the side of a road a couple weeks ago while on a motorcycle camping trip with my partner, Dan. You know, we all have these moments when life goes awry and things don't turn out the way that we expect them to. And I think as we're going along in our personal growth journey, we don't realize how pivotal or important our mindset and our self talk is in those moments. And so today, I share a little bit of my personal growth journey and how I've worked on my self trust and built a stronger foundation of positive self talk, and how that impacts my life when things don't go as planned. You know, if you are someone who's ever struggled in those moments of unexpected changes or hiccups along your life journey, whether it's in your day-to-day life or on vacation or any of these challenges, and you really would like to be able to handle those moments better, then I encourage you to watch this episode because we're going to just share some of my insights about how to shift your language, shift your mindset so that way you can show up more calm and creative and problem solving mode, so that way you can get back to life and get back to doing the things that you want to do. So thanks for being here. Always so happy to have you here. And I'll see you on the flip side. Welcome to the Phoenix Perspective Podcast. I'm your host, Corey Ray Kovacs, a registered nurse and reflector in human design on a sole mission to help women like you rise from life's ashes with abundant energy, purpose, and joy. Each week, we'll meet at the intersection of science, soul, and storytelling as we create a bridge between holistic women's health, the sacred feminine, and cyclical wisdom. You'll get tools and insights from experts and guests, helping you to thrive in every area of your life. So go ahead and pull up a chair, grab your favorite crystal or cup of tea, and let's rise like phoenixes together. Hello. I gotta look at the camera. There's the camera. Hi, friend. So, Dan and I have been on a motorcycle trip today. We left this morning to go on an adventure to go camping. So, we're heading down south, this really nice area, kind of down on the Ohio River, just over the Kentucky border. And we've been having a great day. The weather is phenomenal. It's so gorgeous out right now. And we've had some really beautiful roads. We've been enjoying great conversation. We had a great lunch in Nashville, Indiana, and it's been a great trip so far. We're making decent time, maybe a little bit later than what we had thought, but I mean, that's pretty typical when you go on an adventure riding trip. And we got onto some back roads south of Nashville area, and it turns out that there had been some flooding. And the road that we were on, this road over there, is like flooded right around. Whoop, there we go. Right around that bend over there. So we ended up having to turn around and reroute. And as I was turning my bike around to get back on the road, my battery died. Dun, dun, dun. Oh man. And obviously, when you're on a trip, you hope that things go smoothly, right? You want things to go smoothly. And you just want to get there. You want to have a good time, hang out with friends. We're meeting a friend down there. at our campground. But alas, that didn't happen. It turns out that I need a new battery. And so as I'm sitting here reflecting on this very perhaps unfortunate detour or side quest of our trip, I realized something. A former version of me would have felt bad. I would have felt like it was my fault that I ruined our trip, even though the battery dying has nothing to do with me. I mean, it's out of my control, right? I didn't know the battery was going to die. We didn't know that. And it just happens, right? Shit happens sometimes. And I think before I would have slid into this place of, oh, it's my fault, or is he going to be mad at me, or oh, I ruined everything. Um, why does this always happen to me? Right? And like really got into the space of kind of victim spiraling. And I didn't do that this time. I just stayed calm. I took a deep breath. Dan and I started having a conversation to kind of figure out, like, okay, what needs to happen? We've got to find somewhere that sells these batteries. We got to get some tools because we didn't have the right tools to take off my stuff, which lesson learned there. We need to make sure we have the right tools on my bike to do minor repairs like this. And we found a battery, right? It's 8 miles away. It's not that far. And so Dan took off to go get the battery. And here I am in the middle of nowhere. All right, like, look at this. There's nothing but fields and sky. It's beautiful, but definitely not in any civilization. How often how often do we get in these situations and we blame ourselves or fall into a pattern that makes us feel like crap, right? We start criticizing ourselves. I'm still a fairly new motorcycle rider. I've only been riding for 5 years. There's so many things that I could have said to myself. I could have said, "Oh, I did something wrong and that's why the battery died. I broke my bike. I ruined everything. I should have known better," right? And we do that sometimes. We do that to ourselves in a way that becomes like kind of self-deprecating and it like turns these very normal things that happen, right? It turns those everyday events into like self-flagellation. Like we're beating ourselves up for what? It doesn't help the situation, right? It's not going to make my battery magically work if I beat myself up with my words, my internal self-talk. It's not going to help me solve the problem, right? Because I'm not going to be thinking clearly because I'm going to be feeling bad about myself. I'm not going to be thinking creatively in that moment. And it's just going to sour my trip. Not to mention the fact that it also would probably impact the way Dan and I were communicating. I am so proud of myself. Like, I'm feeling very aware right now of my growth. And I'm offering this to you as an example of how powerful we are in these moments of very real life detours. And when life goes not the way we thought it would, not the way maybe we hoped, how we handle ourselves in that situation and how we speak to ourselves in that situation sets the tone for everything. The question that you can ask yourself today is, how do I handle my internal self-talk when I'm in those situations? What is the what's the common story that ends up coming up during that time? Do I blame myself? Do I put myself in a victim space where I say, "Oh, this always happens to me"? Or do we rise to the occasion and see how we can turn this situation into an opportunity for connection, growth, and even memories. This is the real life stuff. This is the this is real life, right? This season was all about rising in real life and I feel like this is a moment. It's these moments. It's not in the big moments, it's in the little ones when we see how far we've come. And if we are building self-awareness, if we're getting to know ourselves through journaling, through cyclical living, through personal development, through just general self-awareness, then we're able to catch those times when we do slide into self-criticism or self-blame or victimization. And the cool thing is that when you realize those things and you see those patterns, you can start to unravel them. You can start to change them. And by changing the way that you talk to yourself in these very real life, everyday situations, you actually start building more trust with yourself. You feel better on the inside because you're no longer hating on yourself. You're no longer shooting on yourself, right? And that changes the way we feel. It helps us stay more calm. It helps us to ask for help, to be brave in the moments when we need to be brave, to make clear decisions. Are there times in your life when you feel like you wish you could feel more brave or feel more confident to handle emergency situations like this? I mean, granted, we're not in an emergency. Girl, this is not an emergency. It's an inconvenience maybe, or it's a detour. I called it a side quest earlier. I was like, "Oh, we're just having a side quest." Right? We're taking a little detour. But I'm okay. The birds are singing, the wind is rustling through the corn, the sky is beautiful, and I'm here with you. You're here with me. You're keeping me company, sister. And I appreciate that. You're reaching through time and space and the quantum, and you're here with me. And I feel that love. I feel that love, and I appreciate it. My hope is for you to feel strong in moments of chaos and moments in those real life moments when things go awry, for you to feel confident in your ability to handle those things, and for you to not hurt your internal self by speaking poorly to yourself. I also want to say one more thing. I'm really proud of my partner. You know, Dan has come such a long way as well in his growth, and I'm so proud of him for how he handled this situation. We both stayed calm and figured things out. We worked together to find a solution. There was no arguing, there was no bickering. He was calm, I was calm. We even giggled a little bit. And yeah, of course, we want to get to our destination and we might have to go take some highways to go get where we're going, but I'm proud of him too. And when you go through situations like these as a couple, right? The real life circumstances, the real life bumps in the road, and you see how you handle it, how you both handle it together as a couple, how you handle it individually, and you really gain an awareness of the way things could have been or the way things maybe used to be. It's another opportunity for connection and growth and acknowledgement. So I'm publicly acknowledging Dan as well because he handled his cold too. And he did what he needed to do. He went and took care of it, and he's gonna come back, and we're gonna get it fixed, and we'll get back on the road again. So, yeah, maybe it would have been great if we had been able to go through this road. But who knows? Maybe the bike would have died somewhere else. Maybe not. Maybe somewhere that wasn't as safe. Maybe somewhere that we wouldn't have been able to have access to a battery. I choose to believe that the universe is always looking out for me. The universe is always looking out for me. I believe that. I trust that. And I trust myself when I'm in these situations to handle it. But that's taken practice. And the way to build that trust is through these everyday situations that you go through and telling yourself, I can handle this. I got this. I'm not a victim. This just happens. It's neutral, right? Or if I want to really get woo woo with it, getting woo woo with it, getting woo woo with it. Like getting jiggy with it. Okay. Uh, um, if I really want to get woo woo with it, I can say, well, you know what? Maybe the universe was looking out for me and this happened here instead of in another spot. Because if my battery died now, that probably means it would have died somewhere else along this trip. But it happened here and now when we're 10 miles away from the auto parts store, right? There's lots of little nuggets here. And I want you to know that you can always grow. You can always find the space, and it's not about bypassing emotions. It's not about not letting ourselves feel like I'm probably going to get off here and maybe feel some things a little bit. Maybe I feel a little bummed. Maybe I feel a little sad. Or maybe not. I don't know. I haven't sat with my feelings yet because I'm on here recording with you. But what I will say is that when you step into intention and you build self trust in the daily activities, when you follow through with the things that you say you're going to do, when you change the internal self talk and you start becoming your own hype woman instead of being the person who always talks down to you, when you change that internal self talk and you practice doing things that are hard, you practice doing things and adapting when things don't quite go the way that you planned, and you practice those things in real life, that when the bigger things happen, you'll be able to handle it. I love you, friend. If you're on this personal growth journey with me, just I'm proud of you too. Because this shit ain't easy. But you know what? It's real life. And that's what we're doing here. We're all rising like phoenixes to grow together. And I love you. And remember, you're worthy of your most vibrant life. Of course, I never want to leave you without your card for the day. I always love sharing these messages with you. And so today I am pulling a card from Rebecca Campbell's Work Your Light deck. This is one of my favorite decks. I can't not help it. I love it. Recently I had an amazing opportunity to speak with Rebecca Campbell in her membership, and it was a really cool conversation. But I just love it. I'm like, oh, I get to use her cards every time I'm in my show, and it's so great. So she's such a wonderful human being. I absolutely adore her. Okay, so today's reading for you. Ooh, this is a good one. I think we've had it before, so I'm going to share it again. So today the card is mirror. Who or what is triggering you? Oh, girl. I feel like it's in these moments when we're living life and things go awry that those old triggers can come up, and we start to see the patterns of the unhealed places within ourselves. the places where we feel stuck, where we feel trapped, where we feel caged. And we have an opportunity every single time when things come up for us to see ourselves more clearly, to stop and witness the challenge and who we are in the face of that challenge, and then make a choice from that place that reveals these patterns that perhaps are keeping us caged or keeping us stuck and not allowing us to move forward in our lives. So, even though we think we want to have smooth sailing, we think we want to go through life and not be triggered or not see these more challenging or maybe, more shameful parts of ourselves, life is constantly giving us mirrors to show us the pieces that still need love and self acceptance. And I think today's episode really was about that piece for me. And hopefully, you got a piece out of it too. So that way you can reflect and say, when these moments come that I feel triggered, when these moments come that are challenging and I fall back into those old patterns, is this how I want to continue showing up in the world, or do I want to show up differently? The great thing about seeing ourselves in a mirror is that there are things that we can change about that. There are things that we can grow through that. And even if there are things in our reflection that we cannot change, there's certainly room for more compassion, grace, and acceptance. And I think when you step into that space of more acceptance and grace, then magically things change. It's kind of how it works. I'm so glad that you were here, friend. Thank you so much for being a part of the Phoenix Perspective podcast community. I'm grateful for you, sending you so much love and abundance and joy as you build and create your most incredible, vibrant life. Until next time, I'll see you later. Mwah. Yes, I'm celebrating you because you just finished another episode of the Phoenix Perspective podcast. I'm so grateful that we got to spend this time together today. It's really been a blast. If this episode lit up your heart or sparked something inside your soul, please follow the show and share it with a friend who's ready to rise too. Until next moon phase, remember, you are so worthy of living your most vibrant life. I'll see you next time.